Yeah, Pav, just what you see out of Blade today? He was just tremendous. What did you see from him?
Command of all four pitches and, um, kind of a killer mentality. He didn't care they were number one. And you could kind of tell he was blowing the doors off a good bit every now and then. And he commanded all four of his pitches, threw them all for strikes when he wanted to, and, kept them off balance.
And how much did this weekend mean for you to get back out on the field? And it didn't seem like you really had missed the last couple of weeks. Just how'd you feel out there?
I feel great. Adrenaline kind of flowing for the most part, and so I couldn't tell you if I was in pain or not throughout the game. And but it felt good to get out there with my guys again and get off of the bench and get off the sideline and actually be able to do something. So it felt great to get out there again.
Yeah, Connor, a couple questions. I guess first off, how much have you been bugging the coaches and the trainers to get back in the lineup? Tony gave us the impression that you've been sort of in their ear for weeks now trying to say, let me back out there.
Yeah, weeks is a good description, more like every day. Just kind of, hey, I feel good. Like, when can I go? But at the end of the day, it was their decision, not mine. I kind of just told them for reference. I mean, when I felt good, I tell them I felt good. And I tried to take BP, I think, last week in Missouri. And I actually told him when it hurt. And I think that was one of the biggest parts about this whole process, was being honest about my pain and being honest about how I felt. Because at the end of the day, I want to be playing at the end of June. A lot more than I want to be playing right now.
And I know baseball's a game that it's just, you take a couple of weeks off from swinging, it can be hard to get back into the flow. And you had just started to really get going again before you got hurt the first time. Were you surprised that you were able to kind of hit the ground running and just go right back to where you were hitting the ball?
No, not really. I think, this coaching staff's done a great job with the limitations that we've had. So I've been able to stand in and practice and see live pitching. And we use a virtual reality system. So I've been able to see pitches, from guys that we're going to face, just from a virtual reality standpoint. So we've been kind of doing everything that we could, with the limitations that we had with my hand. But we've been doing everything that I can, to try to get ready because, I plan on coming back this weekend. And I was glad that I was able to. But we were just trying to make sure I was ready.
Mike and then Troy.
Yeah. Connor, as far as lessons or whatever you want to call them, going from a series like this or a Vanderbilt series, what do you guys take from it at this point? I mean, this deep into the season and playing in such an intense series like this.
We can play against anybody any day of the week. It didn't go our way today, and it didn't go our way against Vanderbilt on Sunday. But at the end of the day, we put the number one team on the ropes for 3 days straight, and that's something that I don't think we would have been able to say 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So kind of just looking at the big picture, okay. We'll learn from this and we'll be better from it. And at the end of the day, we'll sit down tomorrow and go over video about, what we could have done better. But at the end of the day, it's a game of inches. Every pitch mattered. And the number one team was nervous at the end of the day for 3 days.
You mentioned it there, but Tony mentioned some frustration in that little right field huddle with y'all about not being able to get it done today. I guess how much different is that from maybe 2 years ago when you stepped on campus and kind of the expectation y'all have within that dugout?
Yeah, I mean, we expected to come out here and win this weekend. I'm going to be honest with you. There was no doubt in my mind that we were going to come out and play them just like they played us. But at the end of the day, we didn't get it done. We were just frustrated because we knew that we could have. We knew there were opportunities for us to do it. And, we're right there. And this weekend we just weren't there. And I think that's kind of why we're frustrated more than anything.
We'll go back to Wes.
Yeah, Connor, just in terms of not wanting moral victories, I know that you kind of hinted to that before, that y'all think you're at a point where you're beyond moral victory. So are there just lessons to take away from maybe just a couple of the mistakes that y'all made this weekend and the ones that Arkansas didn't make? It seemed like they pretty much made every play out there, moved runners, and did a whole bunch of little things right, and y'all maybe did just a few things wrong.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, moral victories. We came out here expecting to win, and we didn't win. That's why we're frustrated. But at the end of the day, we'll learn from it and be better for it. And it's just, like you say, when you play teams like that, a top 5 matchup like that, the number one team in the country, the little things are going to matter. And, we'll be better for it. And at the end of the day, when it matters more, we'll be better.
Dudley, did you have a question?
He's on the phone, so I doubt it.
All right. Who else had one? Does anyone else have one? Wes, did you have one more?
Yes, just
Go ahead. You
Uh,
left.
yeah, Connor, in terms of going into this final week of the season, what's kind of the mindset of this team? I mean, you don't want to look past Tuesday, but Vanderbilt's, I think, down big to Ole Miss, so it looks like y'all will go into the final weekend with the lead in the SEC East. So still seems like there's a whole lot to play for.
Just controlling what we can control. I'm not worried about what Vanderbilt does or really anybody else in the East, to be honest with you. I'm worried about what we can control, and right now that's playing on Tuesday and getting a win on Tuesday, and then traveling to Columbia, South Carolina, which is a really tough place to play on Wednesday, and getting after it on Thursday.
Thanks, Connor.
Thanks, guys.